All right, my friends, Michael Eschenburg here, Honest Aim, bringing you some honest insight. Today we're going to be talking about relationship breakups. All right, whether we were just gone through a breakup or dealing with an emotional breakup, they are not easy, especially when it's someone that you truly care about and truly love on a deep level, right? Losing a loved one that still exists, that is still alive and well in this lifetime, is like losing an arm, losing a limb. It's very challenging because it's not, you can't go mourn a grave. This isn't something that's not there. This is a separation of two individuals which were once together, right? In some sort of spiritual union or even a marriage, a legal union, okay? So breakups are very difficult and very challenging, although they are very necessary at times, even if we don't see it as such, right? We all have to trust our internal guidance system, right? And sometimes if we're the individual that wants to stay together while our partner says, I'm done, I have to go, and there can be a need, a yearning, a wanting to continue to reach out, to continue to, I'm going to make whatever changes I need to make this work. And if somebody else has their mind set and they're walking away, it's a very difficult sense of letting go, right? And there's that old expression, if you truly love something, if you truly love someone, set them free. And that can be one of the most challenging things, I think, this in our lives that we'll ever have to deal with. If you truly love someone, to let them go, to let them be away, to let them seek out other relationships, right? And although that's not our hopes, that's the ultimate of where we have to end up, right? So I'm going to share with you a couple things that were personal to me, things that I've dealt with, and if they relate to you, or take them as however it's going to come to you. I trust that this video is going to land to whoever needs to see it or needs to hear it. So first I'm going to tell you, when I was 21, okay, which was 16 years ago, dating myself right now, a little over 16 years ago, right when I turned 21, I got hit head on by a drunk driver, okay? Now, it's a very interesting time. This wasn't just getting hit. I chose to go down this road. I chose to go down this path, right? We're co-creators in all of existence. We're co-creators in every relationship that we have, right? We're reflections of one another. Our greatest strengths and greatest weaknesses. We are reflections of each other always. And we're always attracting to us an equal or an opposite. This is a magnet, an equal or an opposite. And we're going to talk about vibrations here in a moment and how this works on a deeper level, right? When I was 21, I got hit head on by a drunk driver. And I chose, instead of going, straight down this road and turn down this to get home where I was headed, I said, I'm going to take the windy road today. And in a blink of an eye, I put my turn signal on and changed 4 lanes, okay, 4 lanes to take the windy road home. Now, as I'm taking the windy road home, coming across this beautiful bend, which is one of my beautiful favorite houses in the area, right when I'm getting around this bend, this driver comes around, and hits me head on, right? Now, did I attract that? It's easy to step back and say no. Did I attract this drunk driver into my life? Did I attract this drunk driver to hit me in this collision? Again, fresh 21, rip-roaring, excited to celebrate life and new legalities, right? Injured my hand, had to have surgery. I didn't feel right as an individual. Now, this is going to all tie into the relationship stuff in a minute, so bear with the story time with Aaron, right? When I was trying to heal myself, internally, mentally, physically, emotionally, heal myself from this incident, as it was, car crashes are very jarring and very traumatic, okay? Anyone who's been in a serious crash knows that, or even in a fender bender, they're very serious. So, as my sense of going through healing, okay, seeing a chiropractor 3 times a week, having the surgery, doctors just wanting to put pills down my throat, putting a Band-Aid on a broken bone, right? I realized that this medicine that wasn't for me. I wasn't identifying with it. This magnet was repelling this sort of Western science. Okay, so the ripe age of 21, I learned Reiki. Okay, I sought out a Reiki healer and learned Reiki. Thank you, Jaya, you're a wonderful teacher. And that changed my life. You know, it set me down a path of learning alternative medicines. Then I went to a holistic school of theology where I learned many, many different ways of healing, you know, and even worked with many shamans over the years about ways to heal the body. Okay. Now, although at hindsight, at simple view, that I want or need that car crash, well, those are two very different things. That I want the car crash, no. That I want those incidences to happen, no. Did I need them in my life to propel me to where I am at this point? As someone who does offer healings for other people, as someone who has taken, you know, my journey and been able to use that as fuel to not only inspire, but to simply help other people, to turn the light bulb on about holistics, you know, holistic medicine, not Western medicines, and alternate ways to heal. And it becomes very obvious in my later life that that car crash that I didn't want was something that I absolutely needed to make me the individual who I am today. Okay? So it's important when we're dealing with these, you know, when we're dealing with relationships, and especially during breakups, it might not be what we wanted, but fundamentally what we needed in order for us to propel our lives forward, to make the critical changes that we need to make in our lives, right? For those that I know that I trust that are watching this video, they're wanting to do additional steps to heal. Because it's like, I don't want to bring my past relationship in with this new relationship with me. I want to learn something. I want to expand my mind and not repeat, you know, just go on a circle and loop and loop and loop. And that's the beauty about, you know, YouTube and all the stuff that's out there. Katie and Gay Hicks are a very interesting and beautiful couple that have a lot of insight. People that I've kind of followed for a while and looked at a lot of their information. You know, learning about blame, learning about criticism, learning about our self-worth, right? These are very important factors when we're dealing with this, and especially when we're walking, you know, if someone that we love has walked away from us, okay, that we maintain love for that individual, that we don't turn around and start blaming and criticizing everything that they've done along the way, or, well, this happened because this, and this, and that's what makes me feel better. You know, it makes me feel better to make them out to be the bad guy. And that is not the way to go about it. I mean, it's an option. It certainly is an option. But it's not something that's going to fundamentally truly evolve the emotional state. Okay? Especially if that person isn't there to communicate with, which again can be difficult. You know? So it's appreciating, you know. It's like, do I love that guy that hit me in the car crash? Well, it's a loose term, but I can certainly appreciate it at this point in my life. Now we're going to talk about vibrational healing. We're all a vibration, okay? So in 2006, I learned, when I went to Holistic School of Theology, I learned about sound therapy, okay? And I learned from, I talked about this in one of my astrology videos. Mitchell L. Gaynor is a gentleman who passed in 2015, used singing bowls, vibrational therapy to bring people back into, cancer patients, back into health, okay? Now, understanding vibrations is very, 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 very important on where we're at when we're seeking relationships and where we're at when we're getting out of a relationship. Where are we vibrationally? You know, are we on a vibrational high or are we on a vibrational low? If we're on a vibrational low, we're going to continue to attract vibrationally low individuals into our lives. If we're vibrationally high, if we're the one that walked away from a relationship, I don't like to use the word toxic because that's not what relationships truly are. You know, I think it's a very misguided and misused term, toxic relationship. It's like you attracted that relationship. That's part of you, you know. You attracted this into your life as a magnet. You attracted your own reflection back into you and said, that's not what I want. That's not who I want to be. right? So we can look at our vibration. If we're on a high vibration and we're empowered, we walked away saying, I know that wasn't right for me, and I need to go to a place that is better for me, right? Some place that is more accepting, more loving, more open, more communicative. We share more of the same things in common. Because you're in that vibration, you're going to attract the right people. It's going to be very easy for that person to find, or if they're looking to seek another relationship, hopefully not immediately, but it's going to be easy for them to draw on that relationship. The person of a low vibration, and it's okay. It's completely okay, because it's a time to heal. It's a time to learn. Okay, it's a time to accept yourself, to grow as an individual, right? How do lobsters grow? I love this. Rabbi, whatever his name is, Rabbi, whatever. How do lobsters grow? They become their outer shell does not expand, and they grow within their inner shell, right? So it becomes extremely painful, very painful, for the lobster to grow within its shell. So the lobster must shed its exoskeleton shell, go underneath a rock, become very vulnerable, open to prey, right? And slowly over days develop a new exoskeleton shell that's more comfortable and more fitting for it. So it's completely fine to recluse, to go internal, to heal our own wounds during the times that we're dealing with that kind of stuff, right? Because we don't want to put ourselves back out there necessarily. We want to be around our friends that are going to lift us up. So back to vibrations, okay? You put a clock with a pendulum on this wall and a clock with a pendulum on that wall over there. They're both going to have their own independent tick-tocks, okay? They're both going to have their own frequency, but it's both a second, okay? Now, when you put both clocks together, they're going to, whatever has the more dominant frequency is going to pick up and take over the other one. So they're both going to sway together, okay? You can see this with the medicine ball, there's I forget what the experiment is, the medicine ball thing. It's like chaos into harmony, something like that, and these big medicine balls. And at first they all flow together, okay? And then they start flowing very sporadically, erratically, and what seems chaotically. And then they all form together, okay? And they all flow together. And then they all start swinging together again. Okay, so this is, it's together, it's oneness, it's chaos, it's separation, and ultimately back to this oneness, okay? So just like those tick-tocks, they're both going to find the stronger dominant vibrational match, and they're going to cling to that. So during these times, we don't want to sit in our sewing circles. We don't want to be around the negative people that are just going to say, yeah, screw that person, or forget them, they were terrible. Because that's not necessarily a healthy way to go about it. Again, we're talking about someone that we cared about very deeply, someone that we loved. And to maintain that sense of love is extremely important. To maintain that appreciation for the other individual is extremely important, right? So we carry our own vibration. We're a variable vibration, right? That goes up and down and up and down and up and down, and then up and up and up, and then, the ego kind of falls a little bit, and then it goes down and up and down. Okay, so we're a variable vibration, okay? And the goal through meditation, through yoga, through physical fitness, through a proper diet is to maintain our vibration, right? To maintain our breathing, okay? Not be in fight or flight. Shallow breaths equal less oxygen to the brain, puts us in fight or flight mode. We feel like we're surrounded by a pack of wolves, although we're surrounded by friends, loving people that want to help us out, those deep breaths. So we're a vibration, we're a frequency, okay? And when we come in with our frequency, our vibration, and we're, let's say, in a sad mood, in a down mood, we're putting this back out there to when we are seeking a new relationship, if we are seeking love, if we're seeking filling a hole, okay? If we're trying to fill a gap, okay? Well, my partner left me, so now I'm in a vibrational lull, and I want to feel loved. I'm looking for an outside source instead of internally for this love, okay? So what's going to happen is we're going to attract an equal vibration to us at that point in time, okay? This is extremely, extremely important right now. And if we enter a relationship this way, it's extremely important to understand, okay? So if I'm at a lower vibration, my diet's not good, my self-esteem isn't good, my self-love, my self-worth isn't up to where it should be, of self-empowerment, right? So I'm going out there and I'm going to find someone with that exact same frequency, that same vibration, okay? Now we're going to get into a relationship. Now what can happen? Okay, well now we start to feel good. We love each other. We care about each other. We're making love. We're creating, a sense of joy in one another because that other person is filling that gap that self isn't filling. Okay, so eventually in this relationship, because we were at a vibrational low when we entered it, one of these two parties is going to raise their vibration over the time. There is a sense of like self-esteem boosts when you have somebody saying, oh, you're beautiful, or you're so handsome, or I like these things about you. Those good characteristics and those good qualities that somebody else, your reflection, can show you, right? Looking into that mirror of the soul of the other person. Okay, so then you start to pick yourself back up. Now, if you both move together, this is great. This is the foundation of a great relationship, right? Well, it started not out on a great foundation because you're both at a place of lacking. But if you're moving up together, it's possible for that relationship to continue. It's possible for that relationship to sustain itself, okay? Now, if one person's diet is here, if one person's activity, self-worth is still down here, and they're always seeking the attention of that other person to give them the validation, okay, that they're seeking, because they don't have it internally, because it's not internal. What's going to happen is this person's going to maintain here as this person's vibration energy will rise up, okay? And then what's going to happen is natural. These two vibrations are going to fall apart. They no longer harmonize, okay? It's extremely, extremely important to understand that vibration that we carry is going to attract an equal vibration to us. Or if not, it's going, the opposite. And when I say that, this is the classic empath and narcissist, okay? I care so much, and then the person with narcissistic qualities sees that caring and wants more and more and more and more. Tell me I'm beautiful. Tell me you love me. Tell me I'm pretty. Tell me I'm handsome, right? And then it's, you don't love me. You don't, all of this. So then it becomes just like, yeah, I do. I was always there for you. So it's either an equal or an opposite vibration that we're always attracting to us, okay? So in these times, it might not be evident that the separation is what we wanted, but it's important to understand it's what we needed, and that there are tools out there. There's plenty of beautiful information. I went through a very, very serious, very hard, breakup back in 2015. Okay, it's something that brought me into learning more about astrology. Oddly enough, was that relationship. We split up on a full moon lunar eclipse that was the exact same planetary alignment that I was born on, and that made my kind of question my head. So if you don't know my channel, this is mainly an astrology channel, but it's more than that. But it was very difficult. It was very difficult because it was me that loved that other individual that walked away, and I wanted to do anything I could to make that relationship work, and realize, although it's not what I wanted, where that has taken me in the past 4 years is exactly what I needed. Not only to heal, but to become the man that I currently am very happy with, to have experiences, to have traveled around, learning and absorbing as much information as I could from different healers, from different shamans, traveling the world, meeting different people in different walks of life, and I could not have done that in that relationship. That doesn't mean I don't still care about the other individual and wish them the absolute best in life. I never wanted to turn that love and joy and appreciation into hatred or anger or despise. You left me. You kicked me when I was down. It's just like, no, I was down, and these are the steps that I needed to bring myself back up, right? I needed to learn. I needed to absorb all this information. I needed to understand my own vibration, right? And to find myself up. So we have this opportunity during these times to learn, to grow, to bury ourselves in information, listening to Alan Watts and Esther Hicks, astrology, understanding, it's odd, but there are astrological times when we're dealing with these kinds of things that are perfect. It's perfect. The times that we come together in union, the times that we split up, why we split up. There's a deep amount of astrology involved in there. If you want to follow my astrology channel here, or reach out for a personal reading if you're going through something like this, there's a link below. But it's a great opportunity for us to go back into healing, to get our vibration up, to get us to where we need to be, to do the learning, to do, the exploration of self and outside of self in order to learn, to be the people who we are on that high vibration of self-love. And again, fully understanding it might not be what we wanted, but absolutely what we needed during that time. And that is one of the most difficult things I completely understand. Trust me, completely surrendering to the universe. If that's dropping to our knees and crying, screaming why, but then eventually saying okay, saying thank you, thanking ourselves for being strong to get us through whatever it is that we've gotten through, thanking the other individual, for leaving when they did. If the other individual gave you, hey, it was this, this, and this, these are the reasons why I'm leaving you, that can be great tools. Because again, we want to heal these things before we enter a new relationship so we don't bring our past with us. And we truly want to do the inner work so that we're not bringing this cycle of thinking, well, you're going to walk out on me like the last person did. Or if we're the one that walked away, thinking you're going to do the same thing that the last guy did or the last girl did. Once I see these signs, it's why I love Abraham Hicks, if you're familiar with her. One of the things that she said that I've clung to over the years is we create the next argument in the midst of the first argument with our own mind, with our own expectations. We manifest these things. So when we see them pop up, we say, oh, triggered. Well, this equals this equals this. It's like the little kid, a 2-year-old got into mom's makeup and is or crayons and drawing on the wall. Did you do that? No. Well, who taught the child to lie? It was a repeat of, knowledge, just simple understanding that if I say, yes, I did this, and hearing the tone of voice of the mother or the father, that I'm going to get in trouble. And I don't like to be in trouble. So it's easier to say I didn't do something than to say I did it, But that's a child. We're adults, Trusting whoever's watching this, you're an adult. It's just like we have to own up to what we've done or what we haven't done, And it's like it's funny too. It's like an easy up. This is such a strange analogy, but it's so true. It's like an easy up. Have you ever popped up an easy up or a tent or one of those things that has the little click push in buttons and you got to pull the leg out? Well, when you're putting it back down and you try to push it back down and that button's being stuck and then you pinch your finger and oh man, those are the worst, right? Like that right there, And it's just like, did you want it? No. In a sense, did you need that to understand how to do it better next time? Did you need to touch the fire? Did you need to touch the flame in order to understand that fire is hot, although someone told you that's going to burn? We need to learn these lessons in our lives. We need to have a deeper understanding of why these things happen and come together and fall apart. And if someone doesn't give you all the answers and they just up and leave you without telling you what's going on or why and just saying, hey, you're whatever, I still encourage highly to bear yourself in books, in the knowledge that's out there on YouTube, and to people like Katie and Gay Hicks. I mean, I'm not trying to promote them. I'm just saying they're individuals that have brought insight to myself individually. Someone even like Sadhguru, Sadghuru, Sahd, either way. These very, very knowledgeable people, that have so much insight, that have done this work in the past, that can help expand our minds beyond feeling this sorrow, this loss, or this separation, or again, this repeating stuff, that this is going to happen again, and this is going to happen again. And every time I get into a relationship with this person, or a person, this is what I'm attracting. That goes back to the vibration. What in our vibration is attracting that? What in our vibration is attracting the narcissist? What in our vibration is attracting the person who walks away from us? What in our vibration, we are co-creators of every experience in our lives, right? and we are all reflections. And to thank that reflection, to thank that individual for showing up in our lives to show us who we are, thanking them for allowing us growth, thanking them for walking away, or thanking them for being there and us needing to walk away and separate. It's important to maintain that appreciation, and hopefully in the age that we're in right now, that we can openly communicate, as difficult as it may be, to communicate fully from our hearts, empathetically, on what's going on, and that we simply care, and we might have to just go our own way, and it might not be what we want, but it's what we need, right? So coming to a place of surrendering, coming to a place of acceptance, coming to a place of using that as fuel when we're feeling low, to fuel us, to fire us back up, to empower us to be better, to give us the courage and strength for one more day, for one more day, for one more day, right? Use that as fuel to learn, to seek out, to learn from great teachers. Yeah. And then it might not be tomorrow, it might not be next week, it might be a year or 2 years down the road. We can look back and say, that is exactly what I needed to bring me here to this point in my life, where I can look in the mirror and be very, very happy, and look back in complete appreciation and thankfulness to the other individual that walked away, or that I walked away from, to show me part of myself. Yeah. So as always, thank you for hanging out with me. I hope there was some insight into this for whoever's dealing with whatever they're going through in their lives. Follow the astrology page. There's a lot of cool stuff going on astrologically right now. Anyway, thanks as always. We'll see you tomorrow.